Hello everybody, I'm going to give you a review of a CB350 Highness which I have run for 15,000 plus kilometers. Let me tell you the exact mileage on my bike, and it is 15,280 kilometers. I have made several modifications to the bike and I'm going to take you through all of them. This bike is something that my brother and I chose together. I haven't really faced any problems with it. I have actually been very surprised with its reliability and the cost of service. I have spent a lot of money on adding and subtracting parts from this bike. Everything is standard. There are a couple of things that are not from Honda. I'm going to take you through all of that. Right. Let's look at the front of the bike. The first few things that I highly recommend that you get are the front gaiters. This is a must. It just keeps your suspension, especially your shock absorbers, extremely clean. The first modification that I highly recommend after the gaiters are the change of horns. The original horns are absolute crap. Don't even bother keeping it for a long time. They're inaudible on the highway. These are Hella's very loud horns, and they are the same horns that my father used to use on the van about 25-30 years back. And I go to the office in formal clothing and I love wearing leather shoes. So the first thing I did was to put in, this is going to sound funny, this is a condom for my gear lever. It protects my leather shoes, my very expensive leather shoes, and it also keeps my riding boots safe. Then the next change that I made, I'm just trying to have a look at all of that. Yes, I had the hand protectors, handlebar protectors. They are absolutely unnecessary. Skip this if you're going in for them. For me, I just like the looks. It's purely cosmetic. The original mirrors on the Honda CB350 are absolute crap. Mirrors that you find on other bikes are also pretty bad. So I went hunting around. These are third party Avenger mirrors made by, I can't remember it at the moment, but they are available on Amazon for about $455 as a set. The first thing that you need to do is to get yourself a riser. I have 2-inch risers placed here, and they have completely changed the way I can see the people at the back. This is a must. Please try to get yourself good mirrors, at least for safe driving, especially in the city where you are bumper to bumper. You need to be very careful. Then, of course, there are plenty of suppliers in the market for mobile phone holders. I prefer Bobo. I have both their normal one as well as the one with the supports. So if you look at the mirrors now, the mirrors are way outside your handlebar. I'm not very comfortable with bar end mirrors because that means that I need to look down and away from the road, which is a big no-no for me. I'm 6'1", so please don't expect me to look down and look away from the road and look down to see who's behind me. The best thing that you can do if you don't have the right mirrors is to have a quick glance back so that you're safe. Please do not depend on your mirrors to ride on the highway. Always try to be aware of what's around you. I highly recommend that you get yourself a good mirror system that you can glance without taking your eyes off the road much. Okay, now the other modifications that I've done, I bought the new seat. It's too early to comment. The seat is absolute crap when it comes to giving me comfort. I had the touring seat before this, the split seat that Honda gave with the original bike. I bought this bike in 2021. That seat wasn't very comfortable. Maximum I could go was about 200 kilometers. The original seat, the combined seat that it used to come with, that was absolute crap. That would hurt my behind within 40 kilometers. The split seat used to hurt my behind after 200 kilometers. I do not really have any back pain. It's only my tailbone and my gluteus maximus that really hurts. I got a seat cover from Sahara, gel, rubber, and a little bit of cushion, and that allowed me to ride without pain for 500 kilometers on the original split seat. I tried to transfer that split seat cover onto this. No dice, it did not help me at all. The thing gave me about 200 kilometers before it started to hurt. And with this, I haven't really gone for a long ride. The maximum I've gone is about 150 kilometers, and there is a slight twinge that I get after the 100-kilometer mark. I have basically had the back seat removed. These are all original Honda parts. I'm a single rider. I don't really have carry pillions, so I'm very happy to reduce the weight, whatever little that could be done, by removing the back seat. This bike has been extremely reliable. Service costs, service intervals are pretty decent. You only get it serviced once every 6,000 kilometers. But what I do is, after every long ride, I just visit my service center, just have everything looked at. Once I spray my chain every 300 to 500 kilometers, depending on when I can. Please do not overspray your chains. Keep it in good condition. Try to make it run as long as possible. These are brand new ones. The chain and sprocket set was changed after 15,000 kilometers. Basically, there was no way for me to tighten my chain any longer. It was already at its maximum setting. So I was recommended that I should change my chain and sprocket set. Well worth it. This is one of the smoothest bikes that you can ride on the market. I am extremely happy with its ride handling. Suspension is good enough. I have kept it at the second setting, if I remember correctly. This is the default factory setting. I need to play with my back suspension, but it really does not matter right now. I ride long distances with my Viaterra kit. I highly recommend Viaterra. I have their claw bags and their tail bag that costs about 2,700 rupees. Highly recommend them. The tail bag can fit about 35 liters, while the claw bag can fit about 55-60 liters. So highly recommend it. I haven't done much. I have kept the original silencer. I dislike the loud sound. I wish I could change the silencer to something much more quieter. I'm not a fan of loud noises, thumping noises. I'm not really into all that. I just want a quiet bike that can get me from point A to point B reliably. Then the other requirement that I highly recommend are the wider footpegs. Please get it. It changes how tired you become at the end of the day. This bike has the lightest clutch that I've ever felt. It is a joy to ride in the city once you get used to it. It is a joy to ride on the highway. Yes, the speed isn't something that many people are going to be happy with. Who wants to cruise at 100, 110 when you have an open road? I got Mad Dog lights. This is an absolute must. Please do not ride in the night without auxiliary lamps. Honda really wants to kill us with their shoddy lights. This is absolutely useless. Yes, I have to talk about the wobbling issue that many people have complained about. Fortunately, I haven't had any wobbling issues. Around 10,000 kilometers, my bike tires started wobbling. I have no idea what happened. After service, it completely disappeared. I have no idea what happened. I can't remember why it started and how it stopped. I have not had any issues. My tires are in good condition for 15,000 kilometers. I have lots of tread left. I think I can run this for another 10,000 kilometers before I need to be worried. Most of the 15,000 kilometers, maybe about 12,000 kilometers has been spent on the highway. About 3,000 kilometers is to go to work. I don't really have a SIM card. I don't feel it is necessary because I don't take my bike off-roading, and I wish there was a little more top end speed on this bike. I have achieved 125 on the GPS. There is a 10 kilometer per hour error on the speedo which cannot be corrected. I have asked Honda about this and they said that it is for safety reasons. That's a load of bullcrap. It depends on where they have placed the sensor, whether it is on the front tire, back tire, or is it next to something else. But there is a 10 kilometer per hour error. So the maximum that many people have commented is 135 on the speedo, which translates to 125 on the highway, actual speed using the GPS. That is the top speed. I can cruise comfortably at 90 to 100 without any problems. I get about 35 to 37 kilometers per liter at that speed. I don't have the patience to ride it any slower, especially when I'm trying to get from point A to point B. The tires are good. The wet grip is fabulous. I don't really have to be worried about all that. I get really good mileage. I top it up with normal petrol. When I get an opportunity to get power, I do it. If I get it filled out at Shell, I don't really see any performance differences. Doesn't matter. But one general advice is that you should avoid fueling up on the highway. You don't really know how good the quality of the fuel is. I know that you're just you might not run into any problems, but it is always better if you can fill up your tanks next to towns or cities. That is what I highly recommend. My pets. Yep, that's about it. There is very little I can complain about this bike. The long stroke was not something that was required. The long stroke engine, if it was a little shorter and a little faster. Yes, this is called Uno Minda. That is the company that I bought the mirrors from. Sorry about that. Sorry about the noise in the background. This is purely cosmetic. This doesn't help you very much. The front fairing, the long or the short one doesn't really matter. Now, when it comes to reviewing the bike in terms of its braking is adequate. The back brakes are wishy-washy. They are utter crap when it comes to wet riding. I've ridden this in the rain, in sunshine. I don't take this off-roading. This is not meant for off-roading, but it can comfortably climb small hills. It can do a little bit, but please don't. It's not safe. It's not meant to be done unless you change your tires. The suspension is adequate. I am 100 kilograms in weight, so I'm a big guy. I tend to ride this very smoothly. I use a lot of engine braking. I use my brakes very little. I had my brake pads changed at 10,000 kilometers, and these brake pads are only supposed to last about 6 to 7 with normal braking. Due to my usage of engine braking, I get a lot more life out of them. There are no vibrations at all in this bike. This is one thing that I really love about it. It's an extremely comfortable bike. It sometimes puts me to sleep. I've had a lot of fun with it. Absolutely fabulous reliability. Nothing untoward has happened recently. There has been no complaints where I had to go to the service center to get certain things checked. I've not had anything, fortunately. I have had very good customer service from Honda here. That is Silicon Honda, this one, Big Wing on Mysore Road. They are really, really good at what they do. Just give them a little bit of time. Don't try to hassle them. You will get really good service. I've been extremely fortunate with my bike. And there are certain things that I want to call out. My claw bags don't require panniers. They were pretty useless to me, so I had them removed. The panniers cannot be fitted when you're going for a single-seater modification. This is basically just to protect your engine section, but they are very strong. The frame is pretty strong. I'm only using this as engine protection. This is just some protection to protect myself against bigger rocks. I don't really see any other requirements, any other accessories that you need to add. Oh yes, I have added the right-angled valves, tire valves, that from the the CBR650R. That has really worked out for me, because in some petrol bunks on the highway, they have those air pipes only for big trucks, so they're not able to bend. I have tire valves from the CB350R, which are extremely useful, especially on the highway when you come across petrol bunks that only cater to trucks. They don't really have an air hose that bends, so these have been a godsend for me. Please don't get it done if you are going to get yourself from point A to point B from town to town, because you should be able to get normal petrol bunks everywhere. This was done just in case. I prefer the 90-degree bends. I don't really need to get in, and plus I had to get this done the other side. It was not supposed to be pointing towards the brakes, but the guy who did it for me, I think he messed up. And it's a little too late, because they have to slice off the old ones before they can insert the new ones. So that is one thing. Otherwise, I don't really have anything else to complain about. The bike has treated me really well. I'm planning on several long rides in the coming months. I'm going to keep this. I don't really know how long I'm going to keep this bike, depending on what my necessities are. I haven't really required a faster bike. I might require it if I'm doing long stints, but right now I don't really have much to complain about. This is a very, very good tourer. Do I recommend it? Yes. It does have its problems, like the service network. You need to get it done at Big Wing. Is the service cost more? It is no more expensive than an Interceptor's service. It's a little less, if you would say, and only at the major services are you going to end up forking out a lot more money. I have averaged between 3,000 to 3,500 rupees every service with the oil change. I'm going to have a major service after 25,000 kilometers, but at that time several things are going to be changed, so that is going to cost me a bomb. But I have bought their I can't remember what it is called. I paid 4,000 rupees for 2 years for a discount on for a 5% discount on accessories and discount on labor costs. So I have paid that. So my service costs are generally around 2,600 to 2,800. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat. I'll get back to you guys. But otherwise, I simply don't have any complaints. I don't see any problems with my bike. It's treated me really well. It's a little dirty, but that is because I've been riding in the rain. It's been raining cats and dogs here in Bangalore, and I travel 40 kilometers a day from the office back home, and it has been getting very good mileage. Even in the city, I'm getting about 33 to 35 quite comfortably. Yep. Thanks everybody. I'll see you guys next time if I have something to update you guys. And I also have a Jupiter that I'm going to take a review of, the latest Jupiter 2023 model, and I have modified it to my liking. I'm going to take you through all the modifications. Thank you.